Hi there guys, welcome to Guitar Interactive Magazine. My name's Tom Quayle and I'm back with another review, this time of this little white unit here, the Eventide H9 Harmonizer. So if you're not familiar with the Eventide series of effects, basically they've been around for a long time now and been in all the big name, well when they used to use rack units, the H3000 for instance was a big unit used by guys like Steve Vai, Dweezil Zappa, tons of these very high-end, amazing guys who've got amazing tone live would use the Eventide in their racks. And now they've diminished the size of this thing down to a tiny pedal. Just this very small format pedal unit. And it contains over 40 effect algorithms that can be arranged in a series of over 100 presets. And there's a huge amount of tweakability on here. Now the unit can be controlled two ways, actually three ways, if you really kind of break it down. First of all, every function of the pedal can be controlled via the front section. So we've got a few controls along the top, this rotary dial and two switches. That will allow you to do everything on the pedal that you need to do. But if you want more control in terms of more functionality or user interface based control, they actually do make this interface here for both Windows and OS X and also for iOS. So you can control this via Bluetooth. It's got Bluetooth built in, which is absolutely fantastic, really easy to pair. Each unit comes with a serial number. You just type the serial number in, it'll pair. And this is also a preset cataloging unit. You can actually save almost unlimited number of presets onto your hard drive and then load them into the unit via USB or via Bluetooth, so if you so desire. Obviously a huge benefit of the iOS interface, or if you've got one of the new Windows laptops with a touchscreen, is you get touch control for all of the effects and all of the algorithms. So really, really cool. Now I'm going to do both today. I'm going to show you how you can control on the front panel and on the interface here. And this unit is actually the max version. There's three versions of the H9. There's the core, the standard H9, and the max. And this max version has all of the algorithms, there's over 40 as I say, built into the unit. If you buy the H9 core, I think you get three algorithms, and then they sell other ones in their own app store that you can either do on your computer or you can do it on an iOS device. I don't think there's Android compatibility yet. Maybe that's something Eventide are working on. So you can buy a new effect algorithm in there. Say you want to buy the Q-Wah, for instance. You can test it for a certain amount of time, a few minutes, and then if you like it, you can go on there and buy it. So if you want the value version, the version that's the cheapest if you like, you can buy the H9 core. The H9 in the middle's got more effects. And they were running a promotion where you got free effect as well when you bought your first one, which is kind of cool. This is the maxed out version with all of the algorithms on. Now, if I go to my interface here, and I'll do this on here first, and then I'll go to the unit itself and show you how you can use that. Here's all my algorithms. Now, some of these will be grayed out if you haven't bought the algorithm, but just to give you a quick idea, they're broken down into time factor, mod factor, pitch factor, space, and H9 exclusive effects. So the time factor, mod factor, pitch factor, and space were all units that were released as separate standalone pedals. Well, these contain all the algorithms from those pedals, and you can only use one at a time. That's the first thing you need to be aware of. You can't combine the digital delay with the chorus and the pitch shifters and reverb, so on and so forth. But there are algorithms that contain multiple effects. So before you start worrying, there are delays and reverbs built into some of the algorithms together and some modulation as well, so that's kind of cool. And we've got exactly what you'd expect: digital delay, vintage delay, tape echo, mod delay, duck delay, band delay, chorus, phaser, Q-Wah. There's more underneath as well. There's tons, and we'll go through a lot of them as we go through the review. Okay, now all I need to do to select one of these, if I want to select digital delay, double click on it. There's my pedal board, if you like, the actual front panel. And obviously it looks like there's a ton more controls on here than we have on the actual unit itself, but there's ways around that on the actual H9. Okay, now I can literally just drag any of these controls, they work like rotary controls, to change, and you can see the actual unit is updating at the same time. We're connected via USB here. We could be connected via Bluetooth if your computer has Bluetooth, and obviously we do that on the iOS devices. Now the sound is absolutely fantastic. This is as good as you're going to get, basically. Effect units, Eventide, are very high end. So whilst this thing is quite expensive, you get what you pay for, very high quality effects. Have a listen to these delays. Very, very pristine effects, beautiful modulation. Everything is really, really high end here. So there's no kind of digital artifacts or anything going on here. The only other thing to mention really about the actual sound is that the whole signal is converted to digital, but that gives you the best kind of signal to noise ratio, and also means that your most people, when they see that, they think the original tone is going to be affected. Trust me, it really isn't. If I bypass the unit, the sound is exactly the same as if the unit wasn't even there, and we're running through the effects loop here. Okay, so that's as simple as the interface gets. On here, let me just show you the actual interface on the actual unit and show you exactly what we've got in terms of controls and ins and outs. It's a very compact unit. On the top, we've got stereo ins and stereo outs. We're obviously running this in mono. Then we've got an expression pedal input, which is very useful if you want to, for instance, use an expression pedal for your wah, or if you want to change the wet-dry function. You can pretty much assign it to anything you want, and you can use latching foot switches as well if you want to do tap tempo external from the unit on your pedal board. And again, those controllers can be assigned to almost any function in the pedal, which is fantastic. Power supply, which is a proprietary power supply. You can't just plug any old 9-volt center negative in there. You need to use the one that comes with Eventide. They also make power supplies that you can put on your pedal board that will work with this unit. And then here's our USB. Bluetooth is obviously built in. And on the side here, we've got MIDI in and MIDI out. And as with a lot of these units, you can assign any program change, MIDI program change, to instantiate any preset on the unit. So you don't have 1 always equals 1 or 5 always equals 5. You can change that as you so desire within the app if you like, or you can do that on the unit as well. In terms of controls, we've got 5 buttons along the top. We've got the hot knob, which basically allows you to pick a particular parameter within a preset, press the hot knob and it will change to a predetermined setting. So it allows you a couple of functions within one preset, which is kind of cool. We've got X, Y, and Z. Now these have multiple functions, but if I press X, it goes through the different parameters that we've got on each of these algorithms. So this is our delay. So we've got mix, delay, delay A, 2 delay lines here, delay B, that's the time of the delay, feedback A, feedback B, crossfade between the delays, depth, speed, filter, and then back to mix. And you can see now why this comes in useful, because there's a lot of parameters there to remember and they're just shown as numbers. But what is really useful is this red LED dial around the outside of this rotary dial, because this shows you graphically via lights where you are along your scale. Okay, so the mix here we can see both as a number and as a rotary light-based system as to where we are in terms of the mix. And any of the controls I select, we just adjust this way using this rotary switch. So the actual interface is incredibly easy. If I press Y or Z, it just basically does the same thing, it cycles through. So these can have different functions depending on what you're using the pedal for, but the basic editing of each preset can be done just using these 3 switches and this dial. We've got an active button, which essentially allows us to bypass or have the pedal active. Tap tempo, okay, so I can tap here. Although it's going to be a little tricky to show you this. At the moment, the way we've got this set up, this tap tempo, you can see the LED's not on. This allows us to switch between presets. Okay, you can see I'm going up there. If I press on the rotary switch and go back, you can see that we're going back through the presets that way. It's not really designed to be used in that way on the fly. You'd really want to use MIDI, or you'd want to use your iPad or iPhone, or you could use the interface here. But if you want to switch in that way, you can. If I press the presets button, I can scroll through my presets using the middle dial now, because this is lit. And if I hold down the tap tempo LED, or well, the control, tap tempo LED starts flashing. Now, if I'm going to use my right hand for this. This is now functioning as a tap tempo, so. Okay, so lots of functionality built into the actual unit. You have to decide whether you want to use the unit itself or whether you want to use the actual interface here. So from now on, I'm going to use the interface to do all of this work. So we're going to use this down here. And again, this functions on exactly the same on iOS. So I'm going to show you some of the algorithms, just show what these sound like. They're absolutely fantastic. As I say, we've got these running through the effects loop on our studio amp. Now you've heard the digital delay. I'm not going to play them all, but within each of these algorithms, there are a ton of presets here. Now, obviously these are, you can store all of these to the unit, you can send effects from the unit to the actual app. There's tons of functionality in preset management, but within each of the algorithms you get these presets here, so you can really test out the flavor of them, and they can all be edited using these parameters, okay? So if I select this Found It, nice rhythmic delays, really cool. Long vintage H9, simple as just clicking to change the preset. Again, listen to that modulation, so pretty. Really, really beautiful. Rotten old delay. So properly lo-fi, really cool. Let's go for slap vintage. Tons and tons of stuff on here. Classic chorus. This is just one algorithm, remember. Really beautiful. And imagine what you could do if you combine two of these together, two H9s. You really start getting into incredible creative territory. Back to algorithms. Let's select the mod delay in this case. So this is an example of two algorithms together in effect within one setting. So we've got modulation and delay here in terms of chorus and various types of modulation actually. So let's select every lead you fake. Really, really cool. Slightly less presets here. Let's go for funk echo. Oh, really subtle. Oh, not so subtle when you start strumming. Really, really cool. And again, the quality is unbelievable. There's no noise here at all. Let's go for one more delay. We'll try band delay. There's always some cool stuff in these. Wah echo. Let's go for phasery band. I mean, there's just so much stuff here, it's insane. Let's try some modulation. So no delays this time. Let's try the basic chorus. And again, when you've got these, you can make your own presets and store them on here or on the unit itself in any order you like. They can be selected via MIDI. You know, it's really high end. That's really beautiful. Polymodelicious. And again, if I wanted to edit these, if I wanted to just, let's say, the modulation rate. Okay, let's increase it. And we can change the wave from a sine to a triangle wave. Still remains very musical. Stunning. Essentially what you've got here is a multi-effects unit where every effect is really high quality. You see a lot of these quite cheap multi-effects units on the market that do all of these effects, but they do them to a diminished kind of quality. These are all very, very high-end sounding effects, no matter which one you go for. And you can imagine the tweakability of this just goes for days. Diatonic, okay, let's try Storyteller. Let's see what this sounds. This is obviously a pitch shifter. That's cool. What key is it in? It's in the key of E. So really, really cool sounds. Again, in terms of the actual pitch quality, very, very nice indeed. This one is also in the key of E. Oh, we obviously have to be a bit slower than that. Every one of these presets within an algorithm is completely tweakable, and they're separate to the presets that ship on the unit. When you just dial through the presets without being plugged into the computer, there's another set of a whole set of presets as well, which is really cool. Guitar toy. That's crazy. Okay, let's go for some more. So in terms of algorithms, Harmonizer. It's like an arpeggiator, basically. Chromatic delay. Absolutely crazy. And again, you can hear how good the quality of the pitches is, or are. Okay, let's go for some reverbs. There's some stunning stuff in here as well. The spring is very, very nice indeed. Let's try, well, let's start with the basic spring. Again, here's the dry sound. Okay, here's the spring. Very authentic sounding spring here. Okay, again, I could go back to the unit. Let's increase the mix here. Try one of the others. Dark spring. Oops, we don't want to save the changes. Wow. Crazy, but very musical. The possibilities here are almost endless. Let's go for one of the crazier ones. So let's do shimmer. This is a classic effect from Eventide. Let's bring that mix up. Really beautiful sound. Hell's Gate. This is going to be crazy. Again, we don't want to save our changes. Just a massive reverb. Okay, back to algorithms. We'll do a couple more. Let's do, you can see how many there are here. Tons and tons. Black hole. This is a unique effect to Eventide. A lot of the other effects you can find on other effects units, although they are very high quality on here. Black hole is a unique type of reverb. Nebula. Really cool. So as you can see, there's a ton of stuff on here that really almost endless possibilities. The unit, as I say, if you want to buy everything, gets fairly pricey, but what you'll find is, well, first of all, you get exactly what you pay for. The effects quality is absolutely astounding, as good as you're going to find basically in a very compact unit. But if you want to just have less, less of the actual algorithms, you can get away with a minimum and still get tons of flexibility out of this unit. As you can see, just using the presets alone here from one algorithm gives us a ton of different sounds. And a lot of the algorithms have combined maybe modulations or delays in there as well, or maybe some reverb with some chorus, that kind of thing. So you can really start to experiment and get a ton of different sounds on here. If you're worried about switching, in terms of switching presets, again, there's MIDI functionality on there for you guys who use MIDI. In terms of switching, it's really quite straightforward to actually, if we turn this tap off, to switch using this unit here, and just switch between, if we go back to presets, there we are. Just switch up and down like this, and then select. It doesn't actually load until you hit the active button. and then it loads. Okay, so really, really simple to use. So you can use it without the interface if you so desired, and it's very easy to edit on there as well. So I'm totally blown away by this unit. I'm definitely going to stick one on my pedal board. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Choose between the H9 Core, the H9 and the H9 Max. The effects are very, very reasonably priced. If you consider what it would cost you to buy a pedal that did just that one effect, the actual price for each effect on top of the unit is very, very reasonable indeed. So, hope you've enjoyed the review, guys, and I will see you next time.
If you've enjoyed this program, you'll definitely want to check out Guitar Interactive. This free 200-page online guitar magazine is available now at iGuitarMag.com. And if the performances on this show have inspired you to improve your playing techniques, then head on over to licklibrary.com for some free guitar lessons and great jam tracks.